everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Lori Fair and I write adult romance. Today I will be going over part 1 of my writing process. This will be the pre-writing process and it will be the first part in a series. I am extremely organized, so my pre-writing process is very detail oriented. I like to have as much as possible prepared before I can even think about writing. So my first step is to brainstorm. I collect ideas, find inspiration through pictures, media, be it books, movies, or music, and I like to get a loose outline and write down all the ideas I've had. And I typically like to do this with a partner, but usually on just brainstorming, I'm by myself. Now the next step is, of course, I like to get to know my characters. What they look like, what their personality is, what their background is, their strengths, their weaknesses, their struggles, their goals, all of it. I like to have a full character profile for my main characters and some idea of side characters before I get started on the outline. My next step is research. Lists of what I need to research, references, timelines, and since I typically write historical, it is very important to me to get things accurate. I understand that sometimes, artistic liberties must be taken, but I like to do the research and get my facts as straight as I possibly can. An example would be researching in The Devil's Maverick versus the Alexander proposal. So in The Devil's Maverick, it was set in the 1700s. A lot was going on back then. There were certain things they did have, there were certain things they didn't have. I remember one thing in particular was matches. And I know that sounds really dumb, but there was this one point where Alva goes to light a candle, and I was like, so would she strike a match, or did they even exist back then? Come to find out, matches weren't invented until the 1800s, so she had a tinderbox with a piece of flint, and that was what she used to light the candles. And in the Alexander proposal, Spencer's lifestyle is he's a billionaire. I don't understand that lifestyle, so research had to be done. What kind of cologne would he wear? Well, of course, expensive. Everything with him would be designer. Everything would be the best of the best. And that was very interesting to look into. And even with my upcoming book, The Depths of Time, it's based on an actual historical event. So of course, I wanted to get everything as close to accurate as I could with that, because whenever you have a story that's based in history, the devil's in the details with that one. So my next step is mapping out my beats. Now I use Alexa Dunn's beat sheet. There's a link to her video down below talking about that, and I find that that is the best way to build a story for me. The beats are loose and not too detailed. They're very general, but with my next step, which is the chapter layout, I use those beats to map out each chapter in detail. So each chapter gets 1 to 2 paragraphs of exactly what happens in each chapter. And this makes writer's block basically non-existent. I am a little OCD, so I always have around 20 chapters in each book, sometimes 21, sometimes 25. It just has to be that multiple of 5, 7, or 3. Sorry about that. But it makes it easy to plot around, because I can say, okay, Act 1 usually takes place in these chapters, and Act 2 in these, and Act 3 in these. And in my brain, that's just how it works best. And fun fact, that chapter layout I hold on to because it will come into play during the editing process. My next step is notes. I call this I'll title it whatever the project is, information that is a constant companion whenever I'm writing. It's a separate Word document. It has notes about the story, reminders of certain character traits or certain settings, Basically just important information that I can kind of pick through before I write each chapter. So I'll open a document and be like, okay, this is chapter 3. Here's my summary. What else is in this chapter? And I'll just skim through these notes and be like, okay, I should mention this and maybe mention this. And it's always nice to just come back to. And this can include setting details, eye or hair color of prominent characters, phrases or words that I would like to use in each story. It's really just a mix of everything that I'm not sure where it goes, but I'm figuring it out as I go along. Now, my final details, these last steps are setting my expected word count and setting up my write track, which there's a link to that down below. Basically, it's a calendar that calculates how much you need to write each day to meet your deadline and adjusts whenever you write too much or too little. It's a wonderful tool, and I hope you all will use it. I'll also make my deadlines at this phase, so I'll say, okay, first draft needs to be done by this date. Second draft, beta read, submission. And sometimes I'll get a little ahead of myself and start thinking about titles, taglines, and cover art, but usually I like to keep it to this little bit. Just the deadlines, the word count, all of that finalized, and then it's time to write, and that will be covered in my next video. Like I said, this is a 3-part series. I would also like to note I'm not as strict as I seem. If an idea for a scene comes to me, I'll go ahead and write it down and save it for later and just paste it into the chapter where it belongs when I get to it. I know this sounds a little weird. I know that it's not typically how people write based on what I've seen, but it's the system I've found that works best for me. Yeah, so that's it. Comment below, let me know if you have a pre-writing process and how is it different from what I do. Is there anything I've said that you might possibly be trying? I really want to know. Also, while you're there, let me know how you'd like this format I'm trying out. I don't like to be on camera, so I thought if I just have B-roll of me typing and I do a voiceover, that's me not having to be on a camera, that's minimalistic editing, more time for writing, but I do like not having to go back and start over because I've stuttered. It's just easier this way. And if you like it, let me know. If you don't, let me know and I'll try and figure something out. So yes, on a final note, I would like to mention that my books, The Devil's Maverick and The Alexander Proposal, are now available. I've put links to those down below, and stay tuned because I have 2 more books coming out this fall that I'm really excited about. One is my historical romance, The Depths of Time. It is an LGBTQ male-male romance that takes place on the deck of Titanic. And I cannot wait to share that with you. I've got a lot of cool stuff planned for it. And the second book that's coming out this fall is the second book in the Unexpected Merger series. And be looking out for that announcement really soon. As always, thanks for being here, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!